Cheating wife got breakfast in bed. My note shattered her. The aroma of sizzling bacon and the soft hum of the coffee machine filled the air. This had become our Sunday ritual, a little pocket of domestic bliss carved out from our busy lives. I placed the tray on the bedside table, the silver reflecting the soft light filtering through the curtains. 2 perfectly poached eggs, crispy bacon, a slice of toasted sourdough, and a freshly squeezed orange juice. Beside it, a folded note card. I watched from the doorway as Amelia stirred, her long dark hair spread across the pillow like spilled ink. A small smile touched her lips as she reached for the tray. My heart ached. I had spent weeks, months even, trying to ignore the gnawing suspicion, the late nights, the whispered phone calls, the faint unfamiliar cologne clinging to her clothes. Denial is a powerful drug. I loved her. God, how I loved her. We built a life together, brick by brick, dream by dream. The idea of it crumbling was unbearable. But the truth, like a persistent splinter, eventually works its way to the surface. One rainy Tuesday, I returned home early from a business trip, a sick feeling twisting in my gut. I found her with him. In our bed. My world imploded. The air thickened, the walls seemed to close in, and all I could hear was the pounding of my own blood in my ears. I stumbled back, the slam of the front door echoing the shattered pieces of my heart. I didn't confront them then. No, I needed time. Time to plan. Time to let the raw, visceral pain morph into something colder, sharper, something with an edge. That's how I found myself watching her now, the unsuspecting lamb about to be led to slaughter. She took a bite of the egg, a contented sigh escaping her lips, then reached for the note. A simple white card, inscribed with a single devastating sentence. I know about you and Christopher. The color drained from her face. The fork clattered against the tray. She looked around wildly, as if the walls themselves held the answer to this sudden, terrifying revelation. The smile was gone, replaced by a stunned primal fear. She tried to speak, but only a choked gasp escaped her lips. Then, as if her legs had turned to water, she collapsed onto the bed, the tray clattering to the floor. I stepped into the room. "Good morning, Amelia," I said, my voice flat, devoid of emotion. She scrambled back against the headboard, her eyes wide with terror. How did you?" I pulled out my phone, swiping to a photo. It was them. Her and Christopher, crystal clear. Taken just a week ago at a restaurant they thought I'd never frequent. Let's just say I have eyes everywhere. Her face crumpled. Tears streamed down her cheeks, mingling with the remnants of her breakfast. "Please, David," she sobbed. "I'm so sorry. It just happened." "Happen?" I laughed, a hollow, bitter sound. "Happened repeatedly? Over months? In our bed? That kind of happened." She had no answer. Only more tears. "Get dressed," I said, my voice steel hard. "We have somewhere to go." She looked at me, confusion swirling in her tear-filled eyes. "Where?" "You'll see." 30 minutes later, we were standing outside Christopher's apartment. A sleek, modern building in the upscale part of town. A stark contrast to the cozy home we had built together. The irony wasn't lost on me. I had worked my ass off to provide her with that life, and this was how she repaid me. I rang the doorbell, the shrill sound cutting through the quiet Sunday morning. Moments later, Christopher opened the door, a sleepy smile on his face. The smile vanished the moment he saw me standing beside Amelia. "David," he stammered, his eyes darting between us. "Christopher," I said, my voice low and menacing. "We need to talk." I stepped inside, Amelia trailing behind me like a wounded animal. Christopher's apartment was immaculate, minimalist, devoid of any personality, just like the man himself. He led us into his living room, his movements stiff and awkward. "What's going on?" he asked, his voice laced with nervous energy. I didn't answer. Instead, I pulled out a small velvet box from my pocket and opened it, revealing a gleaming diamond ring. Amelia gasped. It was the ring I had given her on our 5th anniversary. A symbol of our unwavering love, a love she had so carelessly thrown away. I held it up, letting it catch the light. "Do you recognize this, Christopher?" His eyes widened. He glanced at Amelia, who was now openly sobbing. "Aye, you. My wife," I said, my voice rising. "While she was wearing this. You. Her. In our bed. In the house I built with the money I earned. You think that's okay?" He shook his head, his face ashen. "David, I'm so sorry. It was a mistake." A mistake," I roared, slamming my fist against the coffee table. The force of the impact sent a vase crashing to the floor. Months of betrayal, of lies and deceit, That's not a mistake, Christopher. That's a choice. A conscious, deliberate choice. Amelia was now huddled on the floor, a broken, pathetic mess. I felt a flicker of pity, but it was quickly extinguished by the white-hot rage still burning inside me. I'm leaving her, I said, turning to Amelia. I want a divorce. And you, I turned back to Christopher. You can have her. You deserve each other. I threw the ring at Amelia's feet. It landed with a dull thud, a final punctuation mark on our shattered marriage. Then, without another word, I turned and walked out of the apartment, leaving them amidst the wreckage of their affair. The next few months were a blur of lawyers, paperwork, and the agonizing process of disentangling our lives. It was painful, excruciating even. But with each passing day, I felt a sliver of the weight lifting from my shoulders. I started rebuilding, piece by painful piece. I focused on my work, reconnected with old friends, started taking care of myself again. One evening, several months later, I was having dinner with a friend when I saw them. Amelia and Christopher, sitting at a table across the restaurant, their faces drawn and pale. They looked like ghosts of their former selves. The spark, the illicit thrill that had fueled their affair, was gone, replaced by a dull, weary resignation. They didn't see me, and I made sure to keep it that way. I didn't need to see their pain, didn't need to gloat. My revenge wasn't about hurting them. It was about reclaiming my life, about finding peace amidst the ruins. I raised my glass to my friend, a genuine smile finally gracing my lips. The past was a scar, a reminder of the pain I had endured, but it no longer defined me. I was free, and that, I realized, was the sweetest revenge of all.